Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer.
But who is he?
Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer.
And who is he?
Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer.
And what he do?
And it's gonna react to all the self-snitching.
Hi, this is Bruce Rivers. Welcome to another episode of Criminal Lawyer Reacts. Today I'm reacting to Remble, Touchable. Have not even seen this, so I'm going to probably be a little choppy, or with the chopper. I don't have a chopper with me today. I'm not lacking, though. Anyway, we're about to do our first live show with Motivation Hustle. We're kind of co-sponsoring it with them. It's at the 7th Street entry, which is right by same building as First Avenue here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And it's Stars of Tomorrow rap show, and I'll be giving out... we'll do a meet and greet and maybe give out some merch, and be great to meet some of you folks. So today we're going to start with Remble, Touchable. Have not seen this at all, so let's just get into it.
It's Remble. Will he perform when he has money right in front of him? Run up on that boy and kill his cousin right in front of him.
Run up on that boy and kill him right in front of him. Well, that's not nice.
Tapped his shoulder, so I know that he is touchable. Put 30 in my chop, and then I turned him to a Huxtable.
Put 30 in my... Let's see, what does it say? Put 30 in my chop and then turn him into a Huxtable. Huxtable, you probably don't even know this, but Mr. Huxtable was a, the Cosby Show. He was a doctor, and his name was Huxtable. But 30 in my chop, 30 rounds in my...
Came a long way from pre-K and eating Lunchables. I just took your life, and as you know, it's unrefundable.
So, we've had a lot of people say, oh, you can't use, it's art, you can't use their statements against them. And I've even had law students cite a federal rule of evidence, and talking about you can't use it as character evidence. Well, there's two types of evidence. There's character evidence, right? You can't use evidence against a defendant to prove character. You can use it to rebut their character. So the prosecutor can't just come in and put a bunch of evidence and say he's a bad guy. But, however, they can use a statement of a party opponent. It's 801D. And what that means is they can use your own statement against you if it's relevant and goes to an admission to a crime. So if any of this is related to anything real, which I don't know if it is or not, but if it's anything's related to real, they can absolutely use it, and they shove that shit up your ass.
When you up the Smith, then you should never feel uncomfortable. Don't waste any time, bro. Just turn him to a vegetable.
God, this is just fucking cold shit. When you up the Smith, you should never feel uncomfortable. In other words, you should just pop. That you should just... be brazen and give me a fucking break. Don't waste time, bro. Just turn him into a vegetable. That is, see, a lot of these messages that we're dealing with here, the violence, I was talking to Nita Milan. You should look at, I did a live interview with Nita Milan on Nita Milan Radio on Instagram. You should find her. She's actually pretty cool. But she was talking about in St. Louis how they're having a lot of these gang problems. And whether it's going to stop and how it's going to stop and what we're doing to stop it. And, this drill music is no different than anything else. I don't know if you saw the American Music Awards last night, but the gal that hosted the show, Doja Cat, she came out in this fucking SpongeBob looking thing. It was just the weirdest thing I've ever seen, but that's kind of her. That's her shtick, right? And that's to get attention, to get noticed. Well, what do you think these guys do? They do the same thing that rock and rollers did, that Elvis Presley did, shake his hips. Nobody was doing that at the time. Crazy. When Madonna was, blowing guys on stage, figuratively speaking. It's to get noticed. And this is outrageous shit, just outrageous, to turn him into a vegetable. The only danger is that it's emulated. And that's what I worry about sometimes. Not sometimes, all the time.
Job writer, you are surely going federal. Don't knock on some wood, but I just feel I did incredible. How many shots were fired? I don't know, but more than several. I thought it was just him. I can't believe.
And here's the other thing. I kind of like Remble. I like his cadence. I like his voice. He's got a good voice, and he's got good rhymes. I mean, it's got good composition, should we say. But it is cold as shit.
It was a bunch of them. Brody did them dirty, hit them up, and now I'm stomping them. I know a lot of demons, I can summon any one of them. Bodies holding bodies, it was as if they were cuddling.
So, when you are with a gang, and you're doing this stuff, it may be going federal is one of the things he was talking about. You certainly could get popped federally, and they're doing that more and more and more, taking groups of guys, low-hanging fruit, and and then guess what? Then they start snitching on the people above them.
I just tapped his shoulder, so I know that he is touchable. Put 30 in my chop, and then I turned him.
I tapped his shoulder and know he is touchable. In other words, I can kill him at will.
A Huxtable came a long way from pre-K and eating Lunchables. I just took your life.
Think about that. Isn't that good imagery? Came a long way from pre-K eating Lunchables, untouchable. That imagery of being, a little kid with not a care in the world, eating your Lunchable at recess to getting your shit pushed back, boy. It is something.
You never feel uncomfortable. I was watching him outside his house. He's getting comfortable. I was watching him outside his house. He was getting comfortable. That's premeditation. And if you're with somebody else, it's conspiracy to commit murder, which is as we've talked about in the past, conspiracy or aiding and abetting another in committing a crime. You're just as guilty as that person as somebody else. Give you an example. My client went one day to go see his buddy's parents. They were going to kill him. They were going to kill his parents. It was a conspiracy to commit 2 murders. My client got cold feet and he backed out. But they had driven there and walked up to the door, and he chickened out. The next day, his buddy goes and kills his parents at an auto body shop that they owned with a fucking shotgun. Okay, well, the night before, my client going just the act of going there, because a conspiracy is an agreement between 2 or more people, and then an act in furtherance of that conspiracy. Okay, so even though all he did is drive there and walk up to the door, that's an act in furtherance. Conspiracy is completed. He got 14 years. They were going for 28. That my Glock was undiscoverable. You were popping it, and now just look at what we've done to you. Peter Piper picked a pack of bullets, now they're touching you. I was coaching up.
Peter Piper picked a pack of bullets, and now look at what they did to you. That's just so fucking cold.
Of shotters, now they're rushing you. I just threw your life inside a toilet, now I'm fleshing you. If I think you wronged one of my homies, I will punish you.
And here, notice something else. You don't see a single gun in this video. You see this and you see that, but nobody's holding any firearms. Smart.
I know that he is touchable. Put 30 in my chop, and then I turned him to a Huxtable. Came a long way from pre-K.
Put 30 in my chop. You don't even need that. You only need 1.
Eating Lunchables. I just took your life.
If you need 30, you're not a good shot.
You know it's unrefundable. When you up the Smith, then you should never feel uncomfortable.
So that was Remble, Touchable, and super violent imagery, super violent. But they're not. The video itself isn't really violent. I mean, if you turn the sound down, they just look like they're regular fine fellas. So this is Bruce Rivers, and I don't mean fellas in that way. So don't go off on me on that. This is Bruce Rivers, Criminal Lawyer Reacts. We are getting close to doing our show on the 28th of September. So if you're in the area, come on down. I won't disappoint you. If you come, maybe you get one of these. We'll do a meet and greet. Also, if you're not coming, you should order one of these. If you're on Patreon, you'll get one of these. If you log into Instagram, follow us on there, follow us on Twitter, and we'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts. Bruce Rivers.